Hello everyone, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show us how we can go about exploiting the broken object property level authorization vulnerability, also known as BOPLA. Before we do that, I'm going to give us an outline of what this video is going to cover. So in this video, we would learn about what BOPLA means, right? With a given example, and also we will go about exploiting the vulnerability and then discussing the key takeaways. So before defining BOPLA, right, we would love to let us know, for those who are just seeing this video and who haven't seen the previous video. This is a series, right, on hacking APIs, and so this is the second video of the series. In case you haven't watched the first video, you have to go check it out, right? So you know how you can go about installing the VVMA project we would be working with. Broken Object Property Level Authorization is ranked top 3 in the OWASP API Security Top 10 for 2023, and it occurs when APIs expose object properties that should be restricted, allowing unauthorized access and manipulation. It's a combination of excessive data exposure and mass assignment. Let's see an example, right? So imagine an endpoint that is used to purchase a product. So we have an endpoint that is API / purchase, right, to purchase a particular product, and this product ID is 123, and then we have the product name, which is ABC Power Bank. Then the product price is 100 USD, and we have the quantity, which is 1, and then we have another object property, which is discount, right? The discount applied here, it's 0%. If the discount property is not properly protected, an attacker could tamper with it, right? So by changing the discount from a 0 to 100, right, this will allow the attacker to get the product for free. Now I have helped us to understand what broken object property level authorization means. We are going to check this box here, so we are done with that. So next up, we are going to check the vulnerable API that we will be working with. So we're going to our browser now, and so we would start with the register endpoint. We'll be using BOPLA to demonstrate this vulnerability. So let me open up BOPLA, right? So now BOPLA is set up. The next thing is to go back to the browser and then to the registration endpoint. Try to create a new user, right? Whatever is on your email address, you give it to your user, and then so the first thing we are going to trying to do here is using the endpoint as intended. So we come back to BOPLA. In the request, we can see the username we entered, we can see the email address I entered, right, and then we can also see the password, and then the response that's returned is we have an ID that is being assigned, the username is returned along with the password, the role, and the bio. So one thing that specifically stands out is the role that is being assigned to this user, right? So we are going to send this request to repeater now. In which try to send this request again, clicking on the send button, we're going to get a different request, right? So this is an internal server error telling us that this user already exists. So we are trying to see what's going to happen if we add the role property and then assign the admin role to ourselves here. So let's see the response that is going to be returned. So we can see now by adding the role property, right, to this new request, for the new user we are creating, we get a response, the same response 201 response, which stands for created, right? Telling us that this user has been created, and also the user ID is 35 with the role being admin. Yeah, so this is a typical example of BOPLA vulnerability and how you can go about exploiting this vulnerability. For this vulnerable project, right, the vulnerability is present in the register endpoint of the API. Okay, so the API is vulnerable if it exposes properties of an object that are considered sensitive, right, and should not be read by the user. And it's also vulnerable if it allows the user to change, add, or delete the value of a sensitive object property, like we saw with our example, right? So we were able to change the role from a user to an admin when creating a new user. So this is a demonstration of how it works, and looking at ways to prevent it. We see that when exposing an object using the API endpoint, we should always make sure that the user should have access to that properties that is being exposed. The intent of the property is to be exposed. We should make sure that that property right is properly protected, right? They shouldn't be able to modify the discount when purchasing a good. So these are like the ways that we can go about preventing. These are the ways that we can go about preventing this vulnerability occurring in our APIs. Whether you're building an API or you're trying to secure an API, I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you now understand better what broken object property level authorization flaw is and how you can go about exploiting this vulnerability. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and turn on your notification. I hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.